I had to ask the stupid question. I said, "We're here to ride the camels. Is there any camels?" And he laughed. He said, "Not today. Not today."
Welcome back, Making Speed. Today we have Mark Karpinski and Scott Brandt, both with Motoexotica. Scott is the owner of Motoexotica, and Mark is the general manager. We've known these guys for a long time, and we just went on a pretty awesome trip to Saudi Arabia, which started off as we don't know what the hell we're doing or why we're going over there, but it ended up being a pretty damn good thing.
It was awesome, right? I mean, we had an awesome time. But the best part was we didn't die. We came back with all our limbs and appendages.
Yeah.
Right? And we didn't think we would.
No.
So once we saw that it was free and open and like, wow. It was pretty cool. It was like, all right, we can bust it out.
We were they said we would not. Well, the people that had maybe taken trips to Mexico but had probably only been to Florida before on vacation, they gave us the most advice before we left. And they said, be careful. Don't talk to these people. Don't go here. This might happen.
Behave yourself.
Behave yourself.
In your hotel for the whole
and I was fresh off a couple seasons of Jack Ryan, so I was like, I was kind of in like,
I was watching Locked Up Abroad right before.
Right. Oof. So we all knew what not to do, but yeah, like Scott said, once we got there,
chains off. It was
easy.
It was like unplugged.
Yeah. I think the only thing we lost was our fear.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
It's good.
I came back with a bad habit.
A bad habit.
Driving. I tried to drive like them. I almost got shot. I got ran off the road. It was
my
great.
God!
I was playing their music too.
I mean, it was like Grand Theft Auto over there, right? Like the real thing.
Have you guys played any of the music yet?
Actually, as a hipster I am, I bought the vinyl.
You did? Which album?
I can't pronounce
the Egyptian guys.
Oh, yeah, no, they're from
Turkey, right?
No, they're from Ma. They're actual rebel fighters.
Really?
Legitimately rebel fighters.
Wow.
Making music on the side.
Tanarwan.
Tanarwan's the one I've been listening to.
That's it.
Tanarwan. Yeah, which means desert.
Desert people.
Here's how I did
desert
it.
Peeps.
Right.
I went through Starbucks. I turned that on. 6:30 in the morning. I was cutting people off. I was doing 100. It was awesome. Everybody else didn't think so, but I loved it.
No, but over there it's a way of life. I mean, you put on your left turn signal and you go right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
Veer. No, not just go right. Veer.
I was thinking a lot about their style. Obviously, it's crazy driving. But the biggest but is, as if you guys remember, everyone was like driving crazy, but courteously. It's very
courtesy.
I don't know. If you're driving the wrong damn way on the highway, I don't know how courteous.
All right, there's some of that, but remember how everyone would get out of the way.
Yeah, they would.
They wouldn't do that here.
No.
I feel like driving in Saudi Arabia is like playing a professional sport. Like you can move around in a lot of different directions, but people have this. They've got this sixth sense for what's going on around them. So if you're driving like crazy and they're driving like crazy, nobody's going to hit each other because everybody's kind of paying attention. Even if they're on their cell phones and doing whatever they're not supposed to be doing, although I don't think there's any laws like that over there.
No.
Everybody kind of knows where everybody's going. So it really should be a feeder league for some sort of racing. Demolition Derby,
there's
maybe?
No traffic police.
No. It's just bedlam, right? It's just a total free-for-all. It really was. It's hard to imagine. Okay, so you've been to Mexico. Maybe you've been to like some Pacific where they just get out of hand. This was way out of hand. And like you said,
way out of hand.
If you get behind somebody and you're honking at them and flashing their lights, somebody here would just jam on their brakes and you'd be right up their ass.
Oh, yeah.
Here they just casually get over.
They just get over.
Go ahead.
And you can be off someone's bumper like 2 or 3 inches. Yeah.
But here, okay, so somebody do that to you, you would casually get over, and then you would jam it up his ass, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You would turn around, and now you would be an asshole to him.
And you might throw something at their car when they went by.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They're very courteous.
Yeah.
No,
very.
It didn't matter.
The closest thing I found is once the Interbelt here, 170 in the morning. There's people that drive down 170. It's terrible. But you know what?
Chargers. It's like a gang of Chargers.
I don't know what's going on, but people just weaving in and out. And there's nowhere to go, but it kind of...
Yeah, but nobody weaves onto the median.
No.
Or off under the shoulder.
No.
Median is another lane in Saudi Arabia.
It's called the 7th lane in Saudi Arabia.
Or the desert. There was guys driving off next to the highway.
It's the 7th lane.
Right.
7th lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's jammed up. All right, we're going to just go off
Just
into
go
the
on
dirt.
off on the yeah.
There's nothing to hit, and
car's already
it's pretty
trashed.
smooth.
Might as well do it.
Well, since we're talking about driving this, we should talk about our driver.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
The man was insane.
I keep sending him messages on WhatsApp. I don't know.
Same here. He's replying.
Yeah.
No, I think that trip made his whole world,
Did it?
as did with us.
Yeah.
You know.
No, we could like. I think he was used to being a driver and a little bit quiet, and when he got in with us, and like, you know, when we're going to dinner, we're like, no, you're not waiting in the car, you're coming with us. Oh, we're going up in the tower, no, you're coming with us.
I mean, he was calling us brother, so he was our brother.
Yeah,
right. And so hence he went out of his way for us.
Right.
So like when the gates of when we go to the gates of the edge of the world, right, and they're closed,
right,
they're open.
They're open.
They're open.
He opened gates.
He opened them for us.
He opened gates
literally
every day for us.
Yeah, so we should kind of probably tell that story. So we're trying to find what is called the edge of the world, which we could
look it up. You can look it up online. Edge of the world, Saudi Arabia.
It is like the Saudi Arabian Grand Canyon, but there's not a canyon. It's an old seabed, but there's a giant cliff drops off to very cool looking. So we decided we had to go there. Someone had gone there the day before. They gave us kind of these directions.
Yeah, Christy Lee had got the
pin drop.
Pin drop.
Yeah.
So she knew where to be and where to go.
Right.
And had it not been for the camels, we'd have gone right past it.
Exactly.
So there were camels in the road, which we
free range
camels.
That was awesome.
And we have a picture of Noah on the roof of the Suburban because he was, I think, a little scared of the camels.
No, I was calling them.
You're trying to get up to eye level.
I was calling them into milk. It was milking time for the camels.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have that there.
Yeah, what were you going to use to milk them with?
Yeah, I'm not. These are soft hands.
Yeah, but
a lot of conditioning here. It's winter. It's dry.
Right.
Yeah, but we went. So we found the. We found this gate. And there was also a path. There's a map on the side of a building with all Arabic, which we didn't understand. And the map, we would not have been.
Well, I knew we were there.
Yeah, we were there.
Right, I knew we were there.
Spot. Yeah,
but someone was yelling at us from a tent,
and that was a little scary.
Yeah, and he was yelling coffee.
I didn't know he was yelling
Come drink
coffee
tea.
at first.
Coffee.
Coffee.
No, I knew because Yasser is a coffee. We're like, all right, we're in.
Okay,
we're going to the coffee tent. So we're like, yeah, we'll drink
we moseyed
coffee.
on up into the middle of a Bedouin tent in the middle of the desert, 60 miles from the city, in the middle of nowhere, with Christy Lee with exposed arms and blonde hair, blue eyes, and
in a police tent.
In a police tent. So I said, well, you better put on my hoodie just in case. Right. You know, we want to be respectful. And how long did she have that hoodie on once we got in the tent?
Less than a minute.
Because how many times did these guys have a blonde-haired, green-eyed girl in their tent with bare arms?
Right.
Exactly.
Never.
Bare arms are a huge thing over there.
Right.
So.
Right.
But it was good. They were just another great bunch of people we ran into. So
yeah, it was. So these guys that took us in, they were the equivalent of like park rangers, would you say?
I would
right?
say
I would say so.
And they were there to open the gates and probably sign people in.
Sure.
So if they didn't come back out, they knew to go looking for them, and probably did recon and helping people out of washies and people that overexposure, whatever.
Yeah. Because once you drive in, it was kind of you can kind of see which way to go, but you couldn't really.
You can make mistakes.
It was like 20 miles back.
It was
through river washes and through the open desert, and we would have never found our way.
It's very close if you've ever been off road in Southwest Utah.
Yeah, or Arizona.
Yeah, where you're in the washes and you're on.
Yeah, but you're in the U.S. of A.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
That's Saudi Arabia.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
And we already used our spare tire, by the way.
Yeah, so we drove out. Yeah, we had our
spare already on.
our diplomatic vehicle.
USD plates.
Our diplomat Suburban or I guess a GMC.
Denali.
I took a picture of it. I have a picture we can share. It's sitting out there right by the edge of the world.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
But it was already on its spare, and we were flying through what wasn't really sand, but kind of coarse.
Yeah,
rock.
River washes.
It was more rock.
It has some sharp rocks. I mean, we easily could have. And those guys, when we left, they checked our tires real well for us.
Oh, right.
They did. It was
they did because next year. Plus, they had those big, like there weren't cactus like you see in Arizona.
No,
but there was some like big ass thistle brushes.
Yeah, with like inch and a half long
needles.
Yeah,
right. They definitely would pierce
fall
your
into
tire.
that. You're in trouble.
Going right through a sidewall without a doubt.
Right. So we're in our GMC with the spare, and then 2 days before the other GMC got
wrecked,
smoked.
right? In the parking lot or at the gas station.
We were just abusing the Diplomat cars.
I didn't even know they were Diplomat cars until I looked at the license plate. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe that's why he's driving like really, really crazy.
I was told by one of his guys, the other drivers. I didn't notice either.
That it was licensed to go.
Right.
It was licensed to kill. It was crazy.
I mean, we cut in front of because we kept there'd be a line of cars.
We just
and they'd drive around all the other
and go like that one time we're coming home from at night and there's like 3 lanes all at the stop light. And there's probably 20 cars deep,
right.
And he pulls all the way up along on the side of the meeting and then cuts across 3 lanes of traffic right in the middle of the intersection and cuts everybody off. Like, this is awesome.
It was great.
Like,
we would never happen here.
It would be the equivalent.
No, people would kill you. They'd seek you down, run you off the road.
In order to drive like we drove over there, you'd have to be in a police car with the lights on.
If even. I don't even know that would work.
And you would still crash.
No, because police would still not do what he did.
No.
I mean, I think my favorite tactic of all that, and he did it a couple times, but we're on the highways at night and doing, who knows, 70, 90, 100 miles an hour.
More.
And he turned his headlights off when you see a car up ahead. And the reason why he would turn his headlights off is so when he get close, he'd turn them on, it would alert them, and they'd get out of the way.
Because they're scared.
He had all kinds of crazy
I was wondering what he was doing. Remember, I kept telling him, hey, turn your headlights on your driver with no headlights
off because you could see with the highway lights.
Enough that once he got on their ass, he scared the hell out of them.
They get right out of the way.
I thought he was trying to kill us.
I did too.
I was like,
no, it was all
stop
planned.
Turning those fucking lights
off. The front seat experience was a little scary.
I mean, he'd be a great bank robber. You bring him back to the United States.
Yeah. You know.
Wait, when we're going out to the edge of the world, he had the thing pegged.
Right.
It was at Maxim, so which was 190 kilometers.
Yeah, 190.
How fast is that? Wait, Google it.
We did. It was like 130 miles an hour.
Yeah,
it was fast.
Yeah.
And then he was driving with his knee.
Yeah.
And clapping to the music, and we were laughing. So who's the fool? We're here to tell you about it, guys and girls.
And then he would stop for prayer. Like party was going. All of a sudden,
party stopped.
Stop. Get on the side of the road. Turn the radio off.
All right. So Mark's got a little insight into that, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So.
And prayer is 5 times a day.
So
right?
Scott and I got to have a little tour with the Saudi government, and we got to go in the mosque and watch them pray and all that. But
is that after you got the
pray 5 times a day? Right. A trobe, by the way.
A trobe.
So 5 times a day, but when you're driving is pretty much the only time you don't have to pray. So we were driving. It was sunset, so it was major prayer time, and he pulled over. And said, "Hey, you mind if I pray?" I'm like, "No, fine, no, totally." And the reason why he stopped is because that was after that day, and we all had an awesome day. But I know for a fact that he was praying because of the day he had
with us, and where because he had never been out there before either. He had never been up in the tower before. I mean, we showed him things in his own country
that he had never.
You guys took him up in the tower,
yeah.
It was a very blessed day for him, and he was praying for it.
Right. So he was praying and thanking and being thankful.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Because he's a wild man. Yeah. Then we took him back that one night to the opening of the restaurant. Brought him back with us. But then he hooked us up with Ali. That gave us the tour of the
right. That was that hooked us up
of the mosque and the
original brother, girlfriend, cousin, friend. Basically of his was the guy that runs the tours at the fortress.
Okay.
The main guy. So we got down there and we got treated like total royalty. They walked us through the fortress.
Well, they said, how much time do you have? And after that, the auction fell apart. We're like, we got all day.
We're good.
We're not going all yours. Just show us your town. And they spent about 5 hours with us.
It was every bit of 5 hours. So we went to the fortress. We
went
to the mosque.
Shopping through the town and antique stores and stuff. And we got our
schmal. Right, we got our
throbe and the schmal, our headdress.
See, we missed the end.
We never got to go there.
Yeah. When we were going to go, I think it was like 10 o'clock. And like our last night when I was there, we were there.
And that was probably one of the most unique experiences for us because once we wore that, we went to the opening of the restaurant. We went around town and we were wearing the full.
We need to get. We'll get pictures of you guys and that stuff.
Photos.
All right, and then we forgot to tell you that Ali then takes us to dinner, which is sit down on the ground, Arabian style, eating goat and lamb and chicken.
Very good chicken.
And I don't really eat a whole lot of beef. Why? Because in the desert it costs a shit ton of money to make the grass so that the cows can eat it. Lots of water that they drink.
Right.
Lots of methane. And it's just not conducive to their lifestyle. And I get it, So what the experience was that, yes, if you came to our house, it would be offensive to be a guest and feed you a big steak. But he said those same people would be the first ones to go to McDonald's and line up for a Big Mac. So, it's
Right.
There's the dichotomy of all
Right.
that. But nonetheless, you get it.
So the food was good. Where you guys? We
Yeah.
never had an authentic meal like that.
It was a full Saudi traditional meal. So we sat. I mean, you sit down
on the ground.
On the ground.
On the ground. They come out with a huge flash pan, huge, and it's rice and chicken and lamb, like Scott was saying. They also had a side dessert, or I wouldn't say maybe it is a dessert, but it was a lot like crab ragoon that we could hear.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Right. It was
Everything was really good and not terribly spicy like you would think Indian food or Thai food or something.
Right.
They don't. It's not heavily spiced, but spiced enough that it's
It was
really
actually
good.
perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was a good meal. And then the best part of the meal is the whole time we had a falcon.
All right.
Sitting right
Ali's-
next to us.
there.
Ali's pet falcon.
Falcon.
Yeah, so Ali brought. I know Noah kept asking while we were there. We're like, "Why is there no dogs?
Yeah.
There's no
yeah.
dogs."
Why
No
is there no
dogs.
dogs?
So we asked. We said, "So what's a dog's just not really a pet? It's nothing. Some people do have them for farming and all that.
Right.
But
We
it's
saw them
not-
out in the farm area when we're
It's not
driving.
a pet like it is in the United States.
Right.
But what is a pet is a falcon.
And horses, kind
And
of.
horses.
Yeah.
Horses for
and
sure,
camels.
And
Right.
camels.
Yeah. Camel. Yeah.
But a falcon was a big pet, and usually if you were a hunter and outdoorsman, you get a falcon.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
pet.
if you, in order to do that, you have to like basically lure a falcon your way, get it to trust you, and then kind of train it from
Train
there.
it,
Yes.
continue to
You
feed
can't
it.
just
So you
go
don't go.
buy.
You don't go to Petco
Yeah,
and
there's-
buy a
there's
falcon.
No.
you don't buy a falcon.
And that's why
So
it's
he bought-
status,
He
because
bought
it's
this
hard to do
falcon,
all.
Yeah.
and it was 2 years old. But it was he had to train him. Well, actually, he was a she. She had to be trained to him,
Right.
and they only eat pheasant.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It has to be fresh
I said, because we're out to dinner. I'm like, well, is she going to eat some chicken and some stuff you feed her? He's like, no, she only eats pheasant and it's got to be raw. I'm like, you got to
Fresh and
find
raw.
raw pheasant every day?
Every
Well,
day.
it can be frozen and you can microwave it,
Oh my god.
but it still has to be raw.
Well,
Like a snake, you
Yeah.
can feed a frozen mouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Not-
a frozen
but,
rabbit.
like-
or thought. Yeah.
right.
You
So
gotta
you
thaw.
actually have to. It's a pet, so you feed it like a pet, like our dogs. It's
Right.
pheasant, and then he's driving around with this falcon.
Oh, really?
He's got a perch in the middle
He's
of
got
his.
a perch, and his course it's got like a drip pan for all the poop. But that's how you do pets in Saudi Arabia.
The poopy.
Do
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually
The
hunt
bird
with them?
poop.
Did he say
Yeah, they do.
He does
Yes,
hunt with
yes.
it. Yeah.
He big camping because the camping culture is huge in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
As you guys saw.
Right.
They got a lot of outdoors, which, by the way, Saudi Arabia is 3 times the size of Texas.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it
Which
was
is-
about the size.
That's
of
what
Texas.
I thought it was the
Well,
size
that's
of
what I
Texas.
thought.
3
In
times.
Riyadh
According
is
to Google.
5 million people
I think
in
it's
Riyadh,
like
right?
7 million.
7 million?
Right.
32 million people in the country.
7 million.
So
in
like
Riyadh.
a little bit smaller than the size of Houston, which Houston is serious.
I didn't
You're
know
right.
that it was 3 times. For some reason, I thought
No,
it was
it
about
is.
the size of Texas.
Yeah, no, I did too, but
we looked it
When you
up.
look at it, yeah, the problem is when you look at the globe, it
Right.
skews the
skewed.
size of
Right.
Right. Yeah, by
So-
the
and it makes Texas
curvature.
look biggest. Yeah, Texas is placed in the middle, so it always, they know what they're doing. And I
Right,
think
so
Texas
things are
is designed
bigger
that
in
whole globe.
Texas.
It's bigger.
And then originally Saudi Arabia was all the other surrounding Middle East countries.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Qatar,
Bahrain,
Bahrain,
United Emirates,
Yeah.
Yemen.
Yemen.
Then you got everything in the north. Nonetheless, right? We had a good time, and we
great.
were. No, there was not one person said, "Oh, you're gonna have the time of your life. Just go out and
No.
have fun."
It was.
Nobody said
We
that.
were up against the naysayers for sure.
A lot of them.
Right.
But what you know? What the funniest thing is when you got here, you're saying that they had just opened tourism, like tourist visas, just open like 2 months
September-
before.
September.
September
end of
27th,
We didn't even know. Yeah.
and we were there September.
No, November
Yeah, just
16th.
right.
17th.
19.
Yeah,
Right.
so
18th.
And it's pretty. I think we learned
hadn't been
it's
open
pretty
for
easy.
like 6 weeks after.
Right.
So they let in the most irreverent people that they could find to let loose in their
Right.
country.
That was my
Basically.
biggest concern because we were both like, "Look
These
who
car
are going!
guys,
These guys are
yeah.
out of control. Like we've been hanging out with these people forever.
Right.
What's going to happen?
Right.
This is not going to be good." And you know what? Nothing actually.
nothing,
No.
bad.
Nothing
but
bad
we're all
happened.
free-spirited
Right.
people. It's
Exactly.
not like we're suits that are coming in to sell you a Microsoft
I think
Office or
we took
something.
I think we took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, in
No?
the best way. You know,
Absolutely.
We're all pretty outgoing, goofy guys in
Yeah,
a way,
I
but
would say that's
we
putting
weren't
it
going to
lightly.
sit in the hotel.
But that said,
No
there
way.
were
Yeah.
a lot of guys that did sit
Yeah,
they did.
And hotel.
They missed out.
Like Kindig. That morning we had breakfast with him, but he felt he was going there one last time to sell that the 300 SL.
Oh, the 300. Okay.
He's trying to sell his 300. I'm like, really, dude? You've tried that for 5 days. It ain't gonna happen. Go with us. You're gonna see some really cool shit. I promise. Yeah, I know. See him at the airport.
Yeah, at London. We
see him in London.
We saw all our photos.
And I'm like, oh man, I should have gone with you guys.
Well, I think on the second or third day we were there, we were like, what do we weren't really sure what. We were kind of killing time in the morning, so we went to the mall. But it was prayer time. Whenever we got to the mall, it was prayer time. So
shuts down.
As soon as we walked to the mall, all the doors shut. And I don't know, it was all like, whatever. I wasn't going to buy a Victoria's Secret bra or a Gucci purse or something like that. So anyway, nothing was happening. But Christy sent us a message. And she's like, hey, guys, heard you're out doing stuff. Love to tag along. So as soon as, she hopped on the fun bandwagon as soon as she figured out what was up. And, we piled around with her for I don't know how many.
Yeah, a couple days. Yeah. Right? She had fun.
Yeah,
she knew.
Blast.
She knew where to. Right.
Well, some people,
because I had told her the next morning, I told her about our whole adventure, and that we had a driver, and that you need to just take a drive with this guy, and she was like ready to heave, wasn't she?
Oh, I think so.
She was Ralphing in the belt, and then she's belching. I'm like, is that a camel back there? I'm like, come on, girl.
But if you think about it, we don't ever know if we're going to get an opportunity like that again to go back there. I mean, we hope that they have the show again, but my whole thought was like, if we're there, let's experience everything we can, because I think it's 50-50 chance maybe that we get together and go back.
I hope it goes. You know what? Like it was just kind of talking about the show in general. It's hard for people to kind of picture what was going on, not being there. But it was kind of like you took SEMA, a Good Guys show.
Monster Jam,
Beach.
A concert, Pebble Beach,
and a concert,
and like a drift course. Like they had that huge. There's so much going on at once.
Track.
It's dumped it all out and let it all go together.
Right, shake it up and throw it.
But you got to give them credit for doing that for the first time on the other side of the world. Put it all together. We all got there early. We saw how the facility was not complete,
and we're like, "This is not going to happen."
This is not going to happen.
You could have never pulled that off in America.
Actually, I think Noah, you even said if we walked in this in the United States and saw this progress, we wouldn't have an auction in 2 months.
Right. We were 100% sure on what day did we go there?
They pulled it together.
Tuesday or Monday?
We went there on Tuesday.
Tuesday
we got there. We were Wednesday. So we left Tuesday, got there Wednesday.
We were saying there's no way it's coming together.
No way.
100% sure.
And sure enough,
it came together.
It definitely
they were welding stuff together.
They were making buildings.
Yeah, they were.
The auction building for 7 was being made. When him and I first walked, they didn't even have it constructed all the way. They had no floor. They were sand floor.
Right.
And 2 days later, up and showing and go.
Yeah.
Right. So let's try and give them a feel then of. Right, because I mean we threw a lot out there, but just imagine for one Monster Jam. So everybody sees that place filled with stadiums, right?
Right.
And they had them all there. There was at least 6-7 trucks.
There was at least 7 trucks, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
And around this was a stadium size venue, bigger than I would say, because sometimes they'll do it here, which is where they have hockey and stuff. So it's. This was larger than that. It was a big square, and imagine
outdoor
with stadium seating all the way around it, and that is just one piece of this whole element, right?
And a concert venue next to that,
around the corner. There was a food court too. They built outdoor
which
food
was
area.
the Route 66 food court,
which is right on Route 66.
Which was crazy to me. I live off Route 66 personally, so to be on the other side of the world and walking around a fake Route 66, was kind
but
of
to
surreal.
them that's
that's
America for you.
Who had the largest food trailer there?
McDonald's.
Yes, it was like an 18-wheeler, like a monster trailer.
And we ate there, it was. Right on.
Yeah.
And of course, the one comment I got from somebody is like, "Why would you eat McDonald's out of a trailer?"
Well, you have to try.
I'm like, it's in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, you got to try.
You got to see what McDonald's is like all over. I've had McDonald's in every place I've been.
Well, now you have Saudi Arabia out of a trailer.
But I missed Saudi Arabian McDonald's.
Oh, you didn't have?
Well, you didn't, because we're here to tell you it was the same.
Good. Same.
Everywhere.
No, it was good.
So the two highlights for me for that whole show was the VIP building tent, whatever the hell that thing was.
Oh my God!
That was
two-story building.
That was crazy. And then the track in the middle where they're running Ferraris around.
F1. And wait, what's your Michaels was there? The driver?
Michael Schumacher. Yeah, they had.
Well, yeah, his son.
Yeah, they brought. Someone was saying that they're like, oh, they paid Ferrari $65 million to show up at this thing. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then they had like all the FXX series cars, which are like the kind of arrive and drive.
Right.
Full on like pro crazy race cars you can buy from Ferrari, and you get a team with them.
Right.
And a toolbox, and you show up, you race any track. So they had those cars there, and they had those running around for a couple of days. And then I heard these cars driving by, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" It was Formula One cars. So they had
both of them.
They had two. Yeah,
there was three of them. There was three Formula One cars. Yeah.
And then they had their top Formula One driver,
which is the young kid
Charles Leclerc.
Is that the guy from Monaco?
Yeah. And then they had Michael Schumacher's son.
Yeah, he was there.
Mick Schumacher.
And his wife.
Right? Yeah.
Michael wasn't there. God love him.
Nope. He's still, I guess, I don't know.
No, but that's an anomaly. Nobody knows.
We don't know where Michael is. I look up not to get off track, but every once in a while you're like,
wonder.
I Google for medical news on Michael Schumacher. I'm like, what's he doing? Right? Is he around?
It's like with Superman.
He's in the weird thing. He's somewhere between
alive and dead. Is that?
Yeah, he's not like Hitler alive in Argentina, and he's not like Tupac Elvis alive. He's not like Tupac, but he's like somewhere in between, like
in the Netherlands, the nether region.
We don't know where. He's stuck in some weird place, but probably actually. I mean, I don't know if he's in a coma or what. Yeah, I don't think he's.
Somebody said he came out of the coma, but what state he's in, nobody knows.
No.
It's just crazy. Hopefully he's fine.
Godspeed to him.
Awesome.
Well, his family's still representing, as we saw.
I love the Michael Schumacher.
Right, yeah, but so then they had all those. So inside of the VIP building,
right,
which is just an incredible building, and inside you could get anything you want except for alcohol, right? So they had coffee and tea and these unbelievable desserts that were all being fed to you free. Just sit down and some lovely woman would serve you.
Yeah.
But then they brought in all these guys, this one guy's collection, which were some winning Le Mans cars and like just incredible a Miura stuck over in the corner and a Pullman 600 Mercedes and I mean, there's probably 25 cars. One guy's collection they brought over just to view.
Didn't they say it was like $30 million in that building?
Oh, it was way more.
I would
300,
200 million.
Yeah.
I bet you're. Yeah.
They had the let's see, 917. They had the 917 Porsche. They had those Miura. They had at least one Miura. They had the
F40.
They had the F40. What else?
They also had
then they had
Formula cars.
Couple of Formula cars.
They had a couple
Formula cars.
And that real beautiful Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
What was that car? That thing was gorgeous. You got a bunch of pictures.
The maroon one.
The models probably. I think they called the unaffordable.
The unaffordables.
The unaffordables.
Yeah, they actually have beautiful women there, undraped. And the difference really between a full covered burqa and an exposed face, because all the women are otherwise pretty much, is if you're married, you're totally covered, and if you're available, then you still get to.
But even that's traditionally only. They don't have to.
No, right.
No longer by law.
Right.
No. But family values, and
usually, like I was told by a girl that her grandpa or your father pushed you on being traditional.
Yeah.
The religious police is gone.
Yeah. But they said that half of the population is like 25 and under.
That's true. They have one of the youngest population.
And so and the crown prince.
He's like 38 years old.
He's a millennial himself, so he knows that the oil days as we know it are dwindling, right? And 10 years from now, if we're at what would you say electric cars are now? 5%, maybe. That
closer
you could be
2%, I bet.
All right, so but in 10 years from now, what do you venture to say? Half?
No,
not even
30.
Maybe 25 or 30.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, people debate that. It's kind of hard.
But is the baby boomers age out and they stop driving over the next 10 years, right? Then the millennials and sub-millennials, they
what do they call? They don't even get their own
X's and Y's.
They don't even want cars, whether they're.
That's why they don't even want a car.
Yeah, right.
What do they want? We don't know what they want.
So that means still less oil being.
They don't know what they want.
Not tangible, at least.
You want to move on?
Digitally, they know what they want, but tangible, they have no clue.
Right.
That's all the way down to boys. And
nonetheless,
girls.
Consumption of their oil will be lessened to a great degree.
Yeah.
And so his vision is, okay, so we have to bring our whole society and our country into another level, much like Dubai has done.
Right.
But they want to make Dubai look like it's a playground, and these guys are serious. And we're here to tell you.
And I think they can do it.
They're serious.
Yeah.
I think
Look at the buildings around that place.
Right. I think the Crown Prince Solomon, I think his biggest credit to change is just the way they got rid of the religious police.
Right.
Because ever since they got rid of them, it's like it's like
Ding Dong the Witches did.
Yeah, Scott said that the other day. It's absolutely right. That's an absolute perfect analogy.
Follow the yellow brick road.
That's what it is.
Everybody's singing around and they're rejoicing.
Follow the yellow brick road.
It's having and they're having such a good. They're jumping then we're checking out and we're leaving Saudi Arabia. First of all, TSA there. Mark made the buzzer go off 5 times, and finally the guy just laughed. He said, "Oh, just go on."
On the way out, yes.
On the way out,
kept beeping. I thought they were going to take me in a back room.
Deep cavity.
I didn't know why.
That's one of the things that everybody warned us about. They're like, "Oh, you'll be able to get in. You just won't be able to get out." And I'm like, "It was no big deal."
No, they're just like,
"No, I was beeping." They laughed at me and said, "Get out of here."
And you know why? It's because they do racially profile.
Right. And we had government visas.
Government visas, and we're on our way home. Yeah. We're not there to blow anybody up. We're just getting the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah, we're ready to go home.
Right, so...
And most likely they want us to come back home and tell about our positive,
right.
which we all have a positive
And so then we went to the duty-free shop, and there was this cute little girl that was so vivacious and just, happy to talk to us. And we said to her, asked her, well, where do you want to travel to? She goes, I want to go to Miami and Vegas and New York.
Italy.
Italy. And I said, why do you want to go there? I want to dance.
Oh, really? That was her thing?
She said she wanted to dance. I said, well, we were at the car show, and there was a DJ there, and everybody was dancing. She goes, yeah, I went there too. She was there because they had it every night.
Yeah.
She goes, but I want to dance freely without thinking that somebody's taken my video and will post it, and then somehow
grandparents
they'll hold it against my family.
Well, yeah, right.
See,
wow.
Yeah. So still waters run deep.
There.
The fear is still there.
But you got to see the other side where people are just like, F it. We're gonna
do it.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah. And that was cool to see.
But nonetheless, she was probably 18, 20 years old. Right. Beautiful little girl that you could see in her eyes. She just wanted to talk to us and ask questions and whatnot. But at the end of the day, when you asked her, there was still fear in her heart.
Underlying fear, yeah.
I think they're probably 20 years away from. It's hard
get rid of the old guard.
Yeah, yes. It's one of those monarchies that are interesting because things can move very, very quickly, in both good and very bad direction. So they're moving quickly in a good direction right now
at this point in time.
And I'm not saying they're going to move in a bad direction, but it's interesting compared to the political atmosphere in the United States, where there's a lot of checks and balances, maybe too many,
much.
maybe so nothing gets done. But right over there, it's like operating in a small a town with a bunch of money,
shit ton of money,
where they're just like, we're going to build nicer roads, we're going to build nicer sidewalks, we're going to have the best educational system, we're going to build this, we're going to build that.
While we were there, they were building a light rail,
right.
They were putting in subways and all new bus stations,
yeah,
all at the same time.
Construction was everywhere.
All they need is more people. They just need more people to do.
Well, I think they got them. They're just out in the desert wandering right now. They're going to bring them in. That's the new bus line. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Come on in.
They're more at the door.
Right. Well, they're also big into architecture, which is cool because there was an area, and they're kind of like China right now, where they will develop an entire area and kind of label it. We're developing this. This is for, and we do that in the U.S. as well, but they're doing it on a pretty big scale. So there was an area where they had 20 different skyscrapers going up, none of which were finished. They were all almost there, which was going to be a new financial district, and this many people were going to live there, and
and then all around it then were new apartments that nobody was living in, and hotels like the hotel we stayed in, the Fairmont. It had only been open for 6 months, and we were the first group to actually be there as a full group where they tested everybody to the fullest.
And in true American fashion, we broke all the toilets. There was
a water line.
It's because it was the only toilets we would use.
Yeah.
Right. They did not know people could eat that much brunch, but we every morning we made that happen.
Yeah.
So what I would say, the architecture is incredible there. Yeah. And the build outs inside individual restaurants and stores were done to top notch, beautiful, well thought out, and all the buildings are gorgeous too.
The new ones,
modern.
And we've got pictures of the older ones, which remind you of places like Mexico or South America, and I wouldn't say third world, but older concrete structures, that are 2-story, that, shop below, somebody lived above.
Yeah.
So pretty utilitarian and just not really high architecture. But now that it's like downtown Houston or something.
They're hiring the best architectures in the world to come in.
Well, remember the whole zone, the whole plaza, the way it was designed.
Yeah. They look like that should have been in Southern California.
They even brought the guy that did the fountains for the Bellagio in Branson out there
to
Dancing
which
Water
is here in St. Louis.
Right.
It was cool. I mean, that whole zone, we were looking for it that one night. We found it. It was like, whoa, look at this.
Yeah.
The vibe over there is great though, because you've got, I keep trying to think of like kind of what makes it what it is today, but people, like, you can tell people are genuinely excited and like pumped up, but they're also like, people are very grounded and religious at the same time. Right. So it's kind of like an interesting combination because people aren't jaded and like pissed off, but they're very like thankful. But then at the same time, so they would be happy because of like who they are and like what the religion is, and they would kind of, those people would be happy no matter what. Kind of, within reason.
From where they came where they're at now,
right.
I mean, they're ecstatic.
But it's blowing up, so it's at the same time, like you've got this kind of cultural revolution going on. So I think like for them, like psychologically, it's kind of the best of both worlds because people are just like,
it's similar to like the 1950s here, or
1960s.
I said that, really and then us as car guys, and I hate to say,
but it's the 50s coming into 2020, right? So it's culture shock.
Yeah,
it's not like from 2000 to 2020. No. It's from 1950 to 2020. Yeah. So it's like, and while they lived in a society was behind mentally. These people are all young and they're all tuned in. I mean, there's not
very educated,
right? They're educated. It's not like they don't have laptops and they don't have access to the internet and what's going on in the world. So they are very worldly in that way, but their society and culturally was behind. And bam, all of a sudden it's like everything's
very exciting,
like a den of iniquity.
So you can't hardly bring them down. They're that excited.
But I think us in the car industry have to look at that because unfortunately here in the United States we're kind of in a decline in the car scene. Older baby boomers are getting out. The younger generation is just not as interested. But over in Saudi Arabia, the biggest eye opener for me is you got this whole new younger generation, guys in their 20s. They are all about cars.
Right.
It's like all new to them. We saw the local drift guys come in. They came in a party train, excited as can be, in their ratty freaking drift mobiles. They didn't care. You could tell they were all skilled.
There was a group of Corvettes that came in like that too, all C7s. Did you see them?
Like
20 of them all came in.
And then the whole Harley club coming in.
But you know what? That's our customers in the future.
Right.
They got a younger generation, like you said, 1950s over there. It's all exciting. Build this, build that. Racing in the streets, building cars.
That's going on in Japan too.
Exactly. Yeah. That is going on over there versus here in the States. We all got to admit a little bit. It's a little stagnant.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's been around for a long time here too, so it's not
exactly
new.
It's jaded. Like you said, it's kind of jaded.
Well, and Saudi Arabia is a tenth of the size of the United States, so
right.
I mean, there's 350 million people here. There's 32 million people there, opposed to 1.5 billion Chinese.
Well, part of the problem in the United States is it's pretty simple. I mean, there's not enough leftover money, really, in most family incomes to be able to go afford to have a classic car.
Yeah, they have money over there.
Expandable. They have, they can spend the money. They have the money to spend on cars.
But they also got the money and the excitement, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if the excitement's here.
I think we're going to see like a resurgence.
Absolutely, I would hope.
In like 80s and 90s stuff. Cars.
Yeah, but are they going to desire those cars like the baby boomers designed their cars?
I think they will.
Cars?
Yes, here's the thing. I think we're in a place right now where it's like it hasn't, like we're kind of like bridging the gap, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of disconnect, and I think that the cars from the 30s and 40s stuff kind of phased out, but like the 50s and the 60s stuff still hanging there pretty strong.
Yeah, but we're just realizing muscle cars are finally seriously declining.
Yeah,
muscle cars. Why are they declining is because all the old guys are throwing theirs out for sale.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of
it's just a supply and demand.
Right. Yeah, the market's full.
So there's this weird point now where I think we have to like bridge, and a lot of it has to do with the current cars in the market and what people are interested in there, but a lot of it also has to do with the interest and the amount of, like Charles was saying, the amount of money people have to spend on cars as a hobby. And it's a little expensive on the, it's like the taste of the guys that were putting crazy amounts of money into these cars from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They are kind of phasing out of cars a little bit, and there's still going to be people playing around in that market. But you've got this little kind of awkward inter period before people, they're going to start spending money on this stuff from the 80s, the 90s. We see square body stuff getting very popular. We actually saw it over in Saudi Arabia. OBS, Chevy trucks, that kind of stuff's going to start to pick up. The Fox bodies,
right?
So those are coming up now. Like they're drag racing on. They're going to start.
Which I agree. Like our most popular brand right now, we're selling. How long we've been doing it. We sell anything and everything, but Toyota's our biggest name.
Toyota.
Yeah.
We've sold a lot of Toyota, like FJs this year.
But no, even past FJs. Because FJs have been in the collectible market for quite some time.
SR5s.
Yeah.
But pickups.
Right.
In later Land Cruisers, 60s, 70s, 100 series. I mean, all the way up to the 2000s. Crazy.
I think we're just in a weird spot. So, people are going to start buying. They are starting to buy those, but you've got all these guys that are in their, 30s right now that...
but I don't know if they're ever going to buy the numbers that the baby boomers did at that age group.
Probably not.
Because there was a
car culture was
because
much larger
30s, 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
and 60s for the most part was dominated by American cars any which way.
Right.
And in the 80s and 90s, what the hell did Americans make that anybody wanted? They didn't want them then. They don't want them now. You got a Grand National, a GNX, a Fox body, maybe, okay, we'll give you that.
Yeah.
Right.
But really an IROC, okay, maybe it's a little cool, but
the cars aren't,
but not like an original Z28.
That's right, yeah.
That's about it.
So and what happened then through the 80s and 90s is when the Japanese cars took hold because the big three just took their eye off the ball, right?
They took a shit.
Yeah, they just they made shitty cars. It was just, really, who's looking for a Grand Marquis or a Parisian or any of the Fords? I mean, come on.
A 90s Mercury Capri.
Nobody.
No.
And will they ever?
Well, so do you think that stuff will the Mustang, will the Cobra R be worth crazy
Cobra R's exception.
I mean, how much?
And I got people telling me 5 years ago when that one sold at Barrett Jackson for $100,000.
Yeah,
that people couldn't believe it. And I'm like, why are you
that's
surprised?
Nothing.
Why are you surprised?
That's gonna be worth a lot more.
But then look at the Integra R and see what it brought.
The Type R. Well, Type R's 5 years ago we could buy them at 15, 16 with low miles.
Yeah. Now they're
that
50,
car today.
70,
it's 80, 90 to 100.
Yeah, one just did how much? There was one in St. Louis. Right. Bring a trailer that sold for.
I mean, low mileage. You're going to get 80 grand.
87.
Especially his first year. You know, if it's a white 90s.
You want to go to Bring a Trailer in the Bat Brats?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, don't get me started.
You don't like Bring a Trailer?
Wait, hold on. Before we go there, that whole point was why I draw
Thank you. Bring it back home.
Bring it back.
It's just because the excitement, the car culture excitement is new, shiny and new in Saudi Arabia. And
that's new.
I walked away from that whole experience of being happy just as a car guy to see somewhere in the world and us Americans, yes, we are a little jaded. We got what we're just all talked about. But in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, it was so exciting for them. It was all new.
Yeah,
at
it is.
every
and
aspect.
It started
okay, so getting back to forget the Bat Brats because it's just
that's a whole.
We don't want to go down that. That's another hour.
That's another podcast.
Easy.
We'll do Bat
we'll come back and
all right.
We'll revisit that because
that's a whole other hour.
That's right. So. Not only did they have because we haven't even finished all the way around what went on at the Riyadh Cars show, right?
Right.
They had guys getting shot out of cannons.
Yes.
Right? They had the Hot Wheels loop-de-loop where the F-Pace Jaguar went over, I don't know, was this thing 100-foot loop?
I think it's maybe
60
70 feet. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah,
but this guy was basically in a stock F-Pace with modified suspension.
I think I would have been more impressed if it was in like an 80s XJS with a bad wiring harness. Like if you can make it through that with the.
Nonetheless, here they are doing loop-de-loops that, I mean, it wasn't on any safety chain or anything.
No, it's just
right. And then there was other crazy stuff going on.
Well, they had RC cars. That was cool, like a track.
Yeah.
And a virtual
simulator. Then a simulator.
Simulators. Yeah. They had
like a serious simulator,
a giant golf, a go-kart track for
go-kart track. Yeah.
That was a big section. Then they had this thing. I know we never looked at it, but it was
Police Academy.
Yeah, that was a whole other show.
That was just a big stunt, like a stunt show.
Right, but that was a whole other section. That was almost the size of the monster truck.
It was right next to it, the same size.
Which is another almost football-sized stadium. So to try and give you all that are listening a size of the scale, I mean, that's how much stuff was going.
It's huge.
Plus 2 other auction tents going on because there was one separate from the worldwide tent. Then there was 7. Right. And that was produced by a Saudi company.
Oh, yeah?
A local Riyadh exotic dealership.
So all those cars were consigned locally by Saudis, which were mostly supercars. Oh, and we cannot forget that there were 13 Bugatti Veyrons lined up like they were just a deck
in the
of cards.
Front row at a GM dealership.
Pretty much.
Like a bunch of Honda Civics, you know?
Which color did you want? How much carbon fiber did you want?
But the clear tent too. And that was the royal
exposition
family, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That was all their cars.
That was their cars.
Yeah.
Like the 959, all that. Yeah. Right.
Oh,
amazing cars.
It was sick.
But it kind of puts
and then they had a whole Bedouin tribe there.
Right.
That Mark got picked up by one of the Bedouin tribe women, and he's kind of like.
But she filled me in, man. I got to ask her all kinds of questions.
So this tribe is there, and they're
all she was
dancing and singing.
Oh, what's that?
I thought she came up to me. She started talking to me a lot, and we were talking. And I was like, when I first got to Saudi Arabia, if like a girl talked to me, I was like skittish.
Yeah.
Because I thought you're supposed to be married. If you're not married, with the religious police, you could not do that.
So okay, his radar went off. He's like, okay.
So I'm like, I would like be skittish because I didn't want like someone to see her and then she gets stoned or something. I don't know. So this is when I first got there. I didn't know. As the week went on, I was asking. I was meeting Saudis. I was making friends and really getting a real feel what Saudi Arabia really was. So that was a lot of that stuff we heard. Or like Noah said, our people from Florida. We've never been out of the country telling us all kinds of advice. I was still going by that advice when I first got there.
Oh, yeah, me too.
All the advice was wrong. All of it.
You're all wrong.
Right. Yeah, because it all came from people that haven't been there.
Exactly.
All of it.
Some shit they read on a newspaper or listen to CNN or Fox.
The depiction of the Middle East on even if it's whether it's Fox News or on the other end, like the New York Times. Yeah, even the New York Times, it doesn't matter. We can go like conservative or liberal. It's the same.
Neither of them know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, really. It can be Huffington Post or whatever. It is.
Right.
Right. You really learn that both sides extreme.
There's probably more truth to it.
Right. There is some truth, yeah. We're in a bulletproof room right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of those things were true. So it was really neat to learn how free they are kind of now.
What else did we miss? Oh, then they had like the new Di Tommaso was there.
Yeah,
and Apollo had a separate booth.
You
can't say. And
what was the car with the color change? What was the crazy color
Apollo
change carbon fiber car? Wow.
Who makes the Apollo? I mean,
Gumpert.
Wow.
Gumpert.
Yeah.
Gumpert. Apollo.
It's a German company. I might be wrong. Fact check me.
It was
haters.
Was there?
Huh?
Brabus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had a couple cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Brabus had their older cars that they're redoing. Which
I think that's really cool that they do that. Yeah.
And they had a Bluebird, the new rough is the Yellowbird and the Bluebird. They had the Bluebird version.
Right. And then we haven't even got into the buildings where you guys had a booth.
Right.
And had your shop truck set up there and your Volkswagen.
The Beetle, yeah.
Right?
Still in Saudi Arabia.
Still there. Hopefully it's on.
Have you heard anything about when the cars?
John did tell me they're en route and they got their
everything's in a container.
Yes.
Oh, really?
A little ahead of schedule.
They actually got them. They got them shopped up pretty quickly.
Chopped up? What'd you say?
Oh, chopped up.
Okay. I thought you said chopped up.
Right.
Chopped up's fine. They are insured, so hopefully they don't make it back, and I'll sell them one way or the other.
Right. How many cars did you guys send over there?
We sent 10.
10.
Sold nothing.
We sold one, and then it got backed out.
The flying mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. Testarossa.
At that point, we were the only one who officially sold a car to a Saudi.
Were you happy to sell it and then happy to get it back?
Well, no. I wasn't happy. I was happy to sell it.
You know where you should put that Testarossa?
Yeah.
Bring a trailer.
Bring a trailer, yeah.
Sort subject. You don't like
we already got like 3 cars on there right now.
Anybody right now, just a quick bat side note, bringatrailer.com. You just look up, we've got an 82 Di Tommaso Pantera right now, which has got the livery of a Pro from the late 70s, 80s BMW livery on it, right?
Right.
You would have thought I had put out there like shit on a stick and all they can talk about is the paint job, and nobody's bidding on it. It's
really.
Oh man.
They're just crazy.
I call it bat brats.
And it's a factory paint job. We have a letter from Pantera
really?
in Italian saying this car
is a factory paint job?
Yes, it was for racing.
I'll show you right here.
Nobody, but what?
So
after everybody figured out it was a factory paint job,
they still they won't read. They won't read the description.
They won't read.
Do you get on there and comment?
Oh yeah, I left a scathing report.
And they
scathing.
They have shut up.
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little. Yes. Let's see if we got any more.
No.
Okay, got 24 hours
you
left.
You changed the wind of that whole.
I hope so.
Yoda, you did.
Oh, and then the last night just couldn't. This guy couldn't wait for this to be over because he had this dissonance, and I'm like, yeah. I said, well, really,
about hunger,
right? So if you're so upset over this, why don't you worry about world peace or starving children or maybe homelessness?
Yeah.
And it'll take your mind off it.
He didn't reply after that.
No, I shut him up.
The comments are great. You should go look at it.
So I look at Bring a Trailer every morning.
All right, well,
just to try to get an idea. I don't know. I like to see what you know.
You got the right car. It's a good video.
Yeah, it can be.
But you guys have thick skin, and your car, no matter how perfect or how wrong or whatever, you're gonna get people just saying bull crap for no reason. And unfortunately, I'm 38. It's my age group.
Yeah,
they live
it's
to do
if
this,
you
yeah.
Right. If you grew up in the forum, all of us here are kind of the same age. We grew up in car forum culture. Back in the late '90s to 2000s, we were all on the internet, like Rentec, Nosiak, all the
you
big,
could go out there,
all the big forums, and they were always cutthroat. Like I cut my teeth early trying to sell a couple BMW E30s on the BMW boards, and boy,
they chewed you up.
It's just no matter what, they're just looking to be negative.
Freaking cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
82. Oh wait a minute, look at where. Oh, what's that?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you're gonna bring it up. There it is.
So unfortunately, that forum crew.
Cool.
All right, where do you ever see an all original 82 Pantera, not a 72 Pantera?
It's a factory.
An 82.
Yeah.
So factory GT5 wide body, right?
Factory GT5.
Right.
Factory.
All original,
unmolested,
unpainted, as it left the factory.
That's the way the car
you think
came
that
out
would
of factory.
be the Bring a Trailer special right there, right?
It
right.
should
I mean,
be.
I thought so. And these guys are bashing it because it's got BMW paint on it or such.
And
right.
Di Tommaso only made 200 that year.
Right.
And this one's serial number.
That's
200.
One of 200 made that, and this is 200.
Wow.
Serial number
right.
200.
Right now it's up to 53 grand, which right now a 72 Pantera needing to be restored.
Wait, you never hold on, but these things all take off in like the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Exactly. Nonetheless, yeah, but you got to put up with
so far we're in good positioning. Right now the car's at 53,000. We have a day left. It should get pretty hot tomorrow. The car's a pretty good deal anywhere north of 75, 80 grand.
Right.
Good deal.
It's got a lot of watchers, but I shut a lot of them up hopefully because they needed to be.
There's the letter right there in Italian saying that this car left the factory.
That letter right there
combo
says yes, it left the factory exactly as you see it.
When is that letter from? 1994?
No, it's from the
80s.
It was in 84 when the second, or when it got imported into the United States. The guy wanted to know if it was a real paint job. He acquired it to Di Tommaso. They then typed up the letter and said, "Indeed, this is a factory paint job."
So, but roughly at 900 watchers and 20,600 views so far.
I just can't believe they painted in that color.
Now, I go crazy digging the history on these cars, and I'm really good at digging stuff up. I had a real hard time really finding why.
Yeah.
There is a guy that's in the comments here. It seems that he might know what he's talking about, maybe.
Right.
I think it was a giant FU when he ordered it. Some Belgian race car driver bought it that way, and probably so that when he had the M1s in his rear view mirror, it was a big FU.
Yeah.
And besides that, most people don't know that the M1s were made initially by Lamborghini. BMW did not make them.
They just gave them two M20 engines. Yeah.
The M1s were made in the factory at St. Agatha in Italy by Lamborghini.
I didn't know that.
See? Learn something new every day.
And it took two of the four cylinders to put them together. Or is it, are they 12
What happened is then they ran into Lamborghini ran into
6?
financial trouble as they always did.
Right.
Yeah.
And BMW had to find somebody else to finish it. But that was right in the Countach era.
Yeah.
Fiberglass cars, shit like that. I mean, they were cranking them out. So,
well, we did take a GT, another Pantera to Saudi Arabia, the yellow one.
Yeah,
85, the rarest of the rare, and it did so.
Not a GT5S.
We got bids on it though.
We did?
Yeah. We had
I don't know what was and what wasn't.
It was a little too low. But
so you want to talk back about the auction? Let's go back. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Well,
we could.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I just wanted to say how positive.
It was a big zero. That's what it was.
Right. The auction sucked, but how we were just talking about the whole event, how big it was a success. On that part.
Oh yeah.
Well, you have to remember, none of this is going to happen overnight.
Right.
So like the first trip you go over there, you're showing them, like we're showing them what we're about.
Right.
And hopefully
they were kind of just checking it out, and I think that also hurt the auction too. There's many other reasons, but they were really seeing what's going on. But the car show, the Riyadh season car show, is what it was.
Right. And the presentation of the auction was done well. It was well attended. They just didn't put their hands up. I mean, there was 120 offerings.
Right.
And I dare say you're not going to have many offerings that have the builders that were there to present their cars to the audience all at once, from Kindig to Foose to Goldberg to Rawlings, Collins.
All on the same stage within an hour.
You guys had your car, but it wasn't for sale.
Not for sale.
Right.
It was, but it wasn't.
But they rolled all those people over the auction block.
Nonetheless, what I'm saying is
Barrett Jackson can't even get that.
Barrett Jackson. No, there's never been another auction that had all those cars with all those guys present at one time.
You're right.
And they pulled that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they paid for what? Everything.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
Were we out any money?
No.
None.
No.
We had a good time.
Great
and
time.
attendance, so that show was much longer than the U.S. car show would be. Longer than SEMA, which is 4 days.
Yeah.
So 6 days long. And attendance on the first day was busy. But like a little light. And we're like, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Then it was packed the rest of the time. And people, it said it ended at 11, but people were pouring in there.
It was open until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
I think it just kept going. But even on the last day, we were like, 6 days? I don't think so. Yeah, well, it was packed. When we were leaving, there was people pouring in there. So from an attendance standpoint, they sold that thing out like the whole time.
Right.
So I don't know.
It was well, and so the Saudis put up a government entity called the General Entertainment Authority, the GEA. So that is a novel idea because now they never had entertainment at all, right? They don't have a frickin' movie theater, guys, right? You can't go see Rambo. You can't do any of that stuff. In fact, when we got there, do you know that they had separate sides for women to eat at and men to eat at?
That's why
so talk about a monumental achievement that when we arrived there, okay, it's just like home. But had we arrived there, hence 2 months earlier, things would have been a whole different vibe, right?
Yeah.
So we were there where they were like giddy school kids, you know?
Oh, yes. Except the vibe was
awesome. The
energy was awesome.
Yeah.
And then like the whole resonates in the whole car scene there. Those people were excited. I never seen them
excited,
take so
but
many
I think
photos.
they have to feel comfortable
with
you before they'll spend money.
No, and
they really do. They want to get to know you.
Right, that's how Saudis. Anyone you talk to anyone, you'll see. Like my uncle has worked there for 10 years. They like to have meetings. They like to talk. You have to have like 5 meetings with them before they do anything.
Right.
So you're right. That's a really
good
point.
And I was told that by a couple of guys that do business
much
over
like
there.
the Chinese.
They said they want to get to know you. They want to talk to you.
Right. They want to know about your family. It's just a personal connection.
Which is great. I mean, that's nice.
And let's talk about the people. All right. So there's a lot of, and granted, we just have problems with a Saudi at another shooting, and that's not good. But a lot of us buy German cars today, right? And that wasn't the case back in the 40s. They were not our friends. So you have to give people a benefit of a doubt. That said, they're coming around.
Yeah.
And given the people that we met, you can give peace a chance because the Saudis love their children too. There is no alcohol in the whole country. So there's 32 million people where public consumption is basically like we were in prohibition. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
There's not, and I wouldn't even say that there was a speakeasy or someplace we could find, other than if you went to the American embassy to get a drink
or a compound,
a compound, like an American compound.
An American compound.
But otherwise, there's no drinking. Right? No. For the most part, they're very conservative. People are covered up. They're not given into social norms that we have to abide by only because they're shoved down our media throat, right?
Right.
They pray 5 times a day to be a good person. Now, I am not defending them. Don't get me wrong. I am just giving you our observations that from a societal point of view, you take out these obstructions or these hurdles. I mean, alcoholism is a big disease, and it's a big social problem we have here.
Yeah, if they said they were going to make alcohol legal over there
slowly,
but I don't think it does any. I don't believe it does any good.
No, they'll end up like us, and they'll see it's.
The problem is they can't compete with the other Middle East.
Right, you got Dubai, and they've got the Mediterranean,
and they know that,
and the Red Sea, and they've got.
You understand they're
shorelines to develop.
By 2022, they're going to have the whole Red Sea developed with high-rise condos.
Oh yeah,
they're building it right now. If you Google it, you can see the progress. Right. But
which is in.
But here's the thing: is when those get built,
no
one's going to come and go on that beach if you have to be fully covered or a pina colada.
Right.
And they know that, so that's why they at first you could dress the way you want to. You don't have to be all completely covered up. You can't go to a beach and be covered up. And next, as those Saudi friends I met that one night, they were saying about 2020, which is next year, they will roll alcohol. It'll probably be just beer or wine.
Yeah.
Probably just be beer or wine at first.
Start with near beer. Start with that. Right.
I think that was in the fridge.
They've got that. They already have that.
Right.
Oodles.
Yeah.
Oh, they already got that. My hotel was stock of that fake beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's coming. But be careful for what you wish for.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole other side that they don't even know
with the way they drive and
alcohol.
alcohol.
Oh my God. I mean, they already drive like they're drunk.
We should go over there and start body shops. Open body shops.
We were talking about that.
And car washes.
Car washes, yeah.
Car washes and body shops would be quite the thing there.
But there's 2 million contractors in the country right now, for the most part, doing things that they otherwise would not do.
Or have the skill to do.
So, right. And a lot of their people come here to go to the United States to go to school.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, they will pay. Yeah, so, it's a little bit different than the U.S., but more, there's a lot more social welfare. So it's hard to be poor. If you're a Saudi national, it's hard to be poor because they support you. They'll give you a loan. There's like a monthly stipend.
That's true.
Also, they'll pay for your college. So if you want to go to college, if you get in there, they'll pay for it. And that's in the U.S. That's anywhere.
Right.
So
but only if you're a male.
Yes, but hopefully
they did say that they would
right.
give the wife or girlfriend money as well
to go along.
But
but they're only educating the male though first.
So far.
Right. We'll see. Well, maybe hopefully we can go back.
I just knew things change when we're in traffic, and they drive with one hand on the wheel and the other hand on the horn. Mm-hmm. So behind us, there's this person blaring their horn at. Turn around, it's like some 18-year-old girl.
It was a girl,
right? And I'm like, oh my God, you guys have come a long way in a real short time.
Right. Less than a year.
And she blaring her
horn. And no one could go anywhere. It was a traffic.
No, but there she was just blaring her horn in our ear. Like
she was a little thing.
Oh yeah, I know. So that was hilarious, right? Because like a year ago she was like 17,
and not thinking about driving,
and she couldn't have driven anyway. Right. So it was cool.
But there was only one box that we didn't get to check that we wanted to, and that was to ride a damn camel. We got close.
We got to pet a camel.
But we did not get to ride.
But look at this. The whole reason we got down to the edge of the earth or whatever it's called is our whole goal was to ride camels that day. We didn't ride camels. We found camels, but our adventure for riding camels brought us to that awesome adventure.
We had one other experience where we were going
to ride. So that's a half check.
We were going to ride camels, and our driver, we showed him a picture of a camel. We're like, hey, we want to ride these. And he takes us over to this equestrian center. So
horses.
So we pull it, and this looks like the nicest country club you've ever seen when we're rolling into it. And we're like, they're not going to have camels at this point. So
Nor even to pay their camel price.
Yeah, we walk in, and it's this gigantic, it's a horse racetrack is what it is. Well, it's government owned, basically. It's just You walk in, you can watch the races.
Yeah.
It's free.
But there's nobody. So we walked in. We're standing in.
So they're betting on the horses?
No.
No, you can't bet.
We walked in.
They don't gamble.
We're standing in this lobby.
No, remember, insurance is gambling. Car insurance is gambling.
Yeah.
I'll get to that, but go ahead.
So we're standing in this lobby. There's all these like gifts from other, presidents and leaders of other countries. There's George Bush Sr. gave him a saddle, and there's like there's all this, stuff. Yeah. And then there's like a picture of all these foreign leaders all the way around this room, and there's like a marble floor, and there's this escalator that's just running, and there's like this music looping, and we're just standing there. There's nobody. And we're like, we are in the wrong place.
Yeah.
We're going to get kicked out. This sucks. This is not good. Like, maybe we should leave. But then, kind of remember, everybody here is so nice and welcoming and, just very passive and kind of easygoing. Like, there's no, authoritarian,
no, they're very
weird
soft, not bossy.
So this guy walks in, and we're like, hey, can we get a tour? And he's
actually,
like,
that's not the way it went. No, I had to ask the stupid question. I said, we're here to ride the camels. Is there any camels? And he laughed. He said, not today.
Not today.
It's the wrong day.
So we got a tour of this whole facility, which is absolutely beautiful. And then we ended up meeting the guy who runs the track that was brought over from the U.S. And he ran racetracks in the U.S. He's about 60 years old. And they lured him over there probably with a fair sum of money. And he was, he'd been doing this for a few years now. And we got a tour of this whole facility. And then they had a race. So, they came out. He's like, we're going to have, 11 races. I think it was a Saturday, but there's nobody there. It's
literally
far nicer than any racing facility you'd see in the U.S. It's very modern. It's perfectly clean. But then the next thing you know, they've got the
horses.
These horses show up. There's jockeys. There's trainers. They're beautiful thoroughbred horses, as nice as you'd see anywhere. And they have a race. So we watched the first race of 11, and we had to leave. But there's two people sitting in the stands. There's a building, like the grandstands, probably 6 stories tall, glass front, modern, absolutely beautiful. I don't know if there's anybody in there, but the place is empty. But they're just racing horses because they have a deep history with horses. They love horses. So they're just out there racing. No gambling.
They're thoroughbred horses, not Arabians.
Yeah, right. They do race Arabians, but I guess
right. Well, they come here to Kierland's and buy those.
There's going to be a race there in February, $20 million purse.
Yeah.
But how do they bet? I don't get how that goes against their gambling.
We don't
There's
know.
no betting.
It's an
if
award.
there's any betting, it's kind of like
prize money.
They're just changing it all.
Yeah.
That's not gambling. That's an award.
Yeah.
That's not betting. That's a prize. Yeah.
So the winner will make the $20 million.
$20 million.
But you can't gamble in the process to see.
No.
I don't know if Vegas has odds.
Regular
probably
people
be
can't
betting.
come in and bet on the horses.
The guy did say, if their buddies are there, they'll bet amongst each other.
Right.
But little side bets, but there's no official gambling.
Right. They don't gamble because it's
against. I did find it funny that you guys were trying to ride camels.
Yes.
But you went to a horse track instead in Saudi Arabia.
We're gonna go ride. Yeah, just to get our fix. We're gonna. Yeah, we went to this horse.
We're going to Grant's Farm.
We're gonna go to Grant's Farm. They've got camels. If you haven't been to Grant's Farm, go to Grant's Farm. Ride the camel.
Yeah,
so.
Safe.
Anyway, we went to the Army base.
Army
Air Force
base. It was actually everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a military
base.
So. Yeah. And it was actually a Saudi Arabian base.
Right.
And they were there too. I don't know if you knew that, but it was shared between us and them. So it was really nice. I mean, tons of car guys there, obviously. And
they're happy to see you guys. Right?
Chip Foose was sitting there drawing for them, and
there was a Chip Foose, Ed Tilrock draw off, and everybody got in. So they had Chip and Ed, and then let's see, Jeff Allison, who's he sat down, and Jim Ring's daughter even sat down, and there was like a Stevie. She sat. There was a 4-way draw off, but it was awesome because they were all doing it at the same time. So it was pretty awesome. But we met a lot of.
They were giving rides in the Humvees. They were
Humvee rides.
Yeah,
who knew?
We didn't go for that, but that would have been.
We
cool.
could have. I don't know. We were trying to
in
get
the desert.
We were trying to score a beer.
Desert, yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah, we were trying that. We were thirsty.
Didn't you guys wreck the air conditioning unit on your shuttle?
I don't think
so.
so.
That
was the other group.
Yeah.
The other group went through the gate, and the air conditioning unit
top
got torn
got
off.
can opened.
Yeah.
There was a 12.2, and they were maybe at 12.6, and it just ripped it off.
Just the 4 inches off.
Well, and that was another cool part about that trip was it really allowed all of us car guys from the U.S. to get to hang out with each other.
Even other aspects. Like we're like car retailers, so car auction guys, but we got to hang out with like the pinstripers, like the Allison.
Yeah.
We hung out with them
Jimmy
a lot.
Shine.
Jimmy Shine.
Awesome.
But even,
great guys.
We're buddies all from St. Louis.
Sure.
Right. We got to hang out more than we ever have.
Right.
And so it was really a good opportunity for all of us to have fun, get to know each other a little more, and I think.
In a relaxed atmosphere where everybody was a little tenuous at first.
Yeah.
So you're like,
but then we got relaxed.
Yeah, but then it was cool.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there was a lot of guys that woulda, shoulda, coulda, but they'd either go from their hotel and they'd go out to the car show and back and forth, but they wouldn't venture out.
Not at all.
And a lot of people that were going to go, but were kind of like
on the fence.
My friend that's been to Orlando on vacation told me not to go to the Middle East.
Yeah. Right. Or they wouldn't just go
Disney
at all.
Disney World must have been rough for him because he told me not to go to the Middle East. That's it.
I took my wife's Achilles tendon out.
Yeah,
in the middle of
Florida.
Yeah,
Epcot.
Yeah, so
Is it because you can drink a lot at Epcot?
No, that's a long story. But I was in a
Didn't you
mobility
chop off
cart.
one of your toes or something?
No, it was her Achilles tendon. Yeah,
you hit her in a.
I hit her in the back. Well, she shouldn't have been wearing flip flops, and if she had boots on, she would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah, with a big heel guard on it.
Yeah, because it wasn't my fault that I hit her.
No.
Yeah,
right.
Anyway, yes.
Did you have a yard?
So it was worse. It was a lot worse in Epcot than it was in Saudi Arabia for her.
Well, I think the Saudi trip was good. I know if we get the opportunity to go back, we already said that we would definitely. We're down.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go out and venture out further.
Way
I'd like
further.
to get, it would be cool to get a couple Land Cruisers and go out where somebody knew where we're going and see some of their countryside.
So like that music that we listened to, that band that we all fell in love with, that's what that band's about. Is going out in the middle of the desert in some Land Cruisers. If you see the videos, they're rolling Land Cruisers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Take some Land Cruisers out in the middle of the desert.
You did notice with the hookah pipe. When we went to the tent.
Yeah, they took it out.
They took it out.
It was like when I was in college or high school. My mom was coming home. I had to hide the bong.
Right. Yeah,
it was that kind of right.
Yeah,
but, Well, we knew they were smoking hash.
Hopefully, if they next year, if they have the show again, that they'll have things set up for some excursions like that.
I think they would.
This year we kind of had to do that on our own, but I think by next year, if they do have tourism,
there's gonna be places you're gonna be able to do everything.
The old junk 4-wheelers on the side of the highway will be gone.
Well,
and there'll be other
people
things.
There were groups that would take you to the edge of the earth where we went, and it was like $1,800.
Right, it was a lot of money.
Wow.
They need some.
I told Yasser,
they just need some more competition.
They need some
more.
We're
the best tour guide ever. I said people
Yasser,
would pay you money for this.
Yeah, for his whole experience.
Right, and he knows everybody. And then I can't tell you how many times me and Scott had him all week, and no matter where we go, he would fight his way. Yeah. There was no fear. There was no for an answer.
When we had to pay to go up into the.
We didn't know what he was saying.
The tower. He's like, "What are you paying?" No, these are Americans. They're my friends. They're going up for free, right?
You didn't have to pay to go up the tower?
We did.
Oh, you did.
But yes, we did.
But he was not going to take
He wasn't. Yeah, I thought this guy had more.
No, we paid. It was like $15 a piece. No big deal.
We'll pay for the tower.
It was cool.
Right. The tower was cool. So.
Well, it was a great trip, and I think we had a lot of fun.
It was a trip of a lifetime.
We're going.
And if you guys want to go, or anybody's listening, you can go online and you can go and get a visa. A tourist visa, and
you get it in 24 hours, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the easy part. Well,
and I'm just saying, if there's someone really listening out there that wants to do something different,
that no other
and really overall
Westerner has really seen.
I can't tell you how safe it is. Your biggest danger there is if anything's going to happen, it's going to be a car accident.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but we didn't see any. They're all fender benders.
But that's really the only danger.
I think if you could do like a kind of Middle East tour trip, it would be you go there, go to Dubai, Bahrain. I'd like to go to Israel just to check. Israel's very.
I don't know if you can put all those in the same boat, but
I don't know if you might have to go from Israel, back to somewhere and then anyway.
You have to go to Cuba first.
You have to go to Cuba, right?
And then you go to Israel.
It's only So it is a 15-hour flight, but you know what? It was good.
It's cool, but if anyone does, they can contact us.
Check it out.
We got all our tour.
That's right.
Our tour guys that we've made and found. We have all their contact info. I think they connected to all of us when we got back. Even the guy, one of the guards at the tent at the national park.
Oh, he reached out to you?
Oh, he friended us. He made an Instagram account so he could be friends with us.
Well, right, because when we got to the tent, I'm like, hey, man, all these people in your tent, they've got TV shows, including the cute blonde. All Girls Garage. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, Instagram. You see her right here? He's like, what? Well, he's in my tent. Yes, wait till I tell the boy.
When he signed up, so he signs up on Instagram. The very first thing he does was the I heart emoji.
Yeah.
All over Christy Lee.
Oh, really?
So he figured it out. He's like, it goes to her site and sees how many, she's certified or whatever you want to call it, with the blue check.
Yeah.
And then he noticed who she was and who was in his tent.
That's hilarious.
That's the Bearhard girl in my tent. I told you I wasn't lying, right? None of my friends believe me, but look here, I'm telling you, she was
in
there.
the tent. In
my tent.
Right. I told her to take her clothes off.
Yeah, she did. Her hoodie, anyway.
Yeah,
right.
That was awesome.
Well, to them,
as far as you get
right
there.
to them, that was getting naked.
Yeah, that is to them.
Wow.
Wow. It's been real.
It has.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you.
Good luck with your podcast.
This was good to talk
we'll
about.
Be back
I feel
what number is this?
I feel like a lot of people that we
this
talked to since
11.
we got back don't really get the concept of it all.
No,
it's really hard
to
to really explain what we went through. But for us all four sitting down and hashing it all, because we all get it, we were all there. It's been pretty cool.
It was great.
It was cool. I'm smiling.
Well, thanks for coming in to tell everybody about it.
Right on.
Appreciate
it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Again,
later.
Scott Brandt, Mark Karpinski, Motoexotica.com.
That's right.
You can find
and
them.
Don't be a bat brat.
Please don't be a bad brat. But
we have cars on there right now. You can support us.
Yeah,
they're good cars.
Cool. Making Speed. Right. ClassicCarStudio.com.
Yum.
Jace, what else? See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you, guys.
Later.